the indigeneity of some
But yes,
Mexicans.
you
I never
did.
did. No, I haven't
Yes, you
actually.
did.
I
And
haven't.
you
Well,
called us wetbacks. I'm not a
Oh,
wetback.
yay. Hey, we're getting pretendians in here now.
so legal.
Oh,
So
no,
let's
we
get
don't
no.
use
Let's
wet back in
change
here.
that. So what I said was actually as a response to Manny calling me mayate. Okay, and he also called me changa como un mono. So yes, I did respond to him.
Okay.
If you're gonna call me racial slurs, I'm gonna call you some slurs
No,
back.
no. Okay, let's start over here.
But the
Let's just go and start
conversation
over here. Hold up, legal.
Mexicans are not indigenous.
Okay, let's start over here. I'm gonna give her something. I'm gonna give her. I'm not giving her what she said to Manny a pass or anything, but I'm gonna give her the fact that the reason why she did it. Manny is an asshole. Manny is a. I mean, straight up.
No one's denying that. No one's denying that. But
The audacity of attempting to call out Kit Kat after I have these folks recorded supporting Mono and Manny after both of them have said the N-word multiple times. Absolutely crazy. Not a single one called them out. Every single one of them on this panel have actively supported Mono and Manny after they have said the N-word. Especially Legal. But we all know Legal is a habitual liar herself. She lies about her occupation, she lies for her TikTok friends, she just lies all the time. You know good and damn well that Kit Kat never said that Mexican people didn't have native ancestry. Why do y'all pretend to have the moral high ground when I have you recorded supporting the mess?
it was not cool to call people of Mexico non-indigenous.
I never
Right.
did that actually. I never called anyone who's Mexican non-indigenous. Actually, my best friend. No. Wait a second. My best friend is an
Did you
indigenous
bring in the
Mexicana. Wait a second. My best friend is an indigenous Mexicana who actually is still a Nahuatl speaker. So I never did.
Tokenized
No
people,
one's
like,
tokenized. No one's
it is.
tokenizing. It's not
That is
tokenizing. You perceive it as
tokenized.
that. But what I'm telling you is that I know people in real life who are
If a
both
white person
indigenous
said that,
and
said my best
Mexican.
friend is this, that would be
I wouldn't
tokenizing.
care
So
because I'm
I'm not
not
talking to
white.
these
I'm
people.
not white, so it's irrelevant.
It
What
doesn't
I'm
matter.
saying,
It's
so
still
no, but I'm actually
tokenizing.
making a clear point, but you want to talk over me. What I'm saying is I know people who are Mexican and indigenous. What I said to Manny, I never said he wasn't indigenous. What I said to him was because he called me Mayate and Shanga. So that's why I said what I said.
So
You
that's
actually
still no excuse. Like,
Josh's
I don't
live.
feel
No,
like
I don't need an excuse
You
because
said it in
I
Josh's live, not in Manny's live.
no, it was too many. It was too
Can
many,
we
girl.
bring in the videos?
I literally said it
Oh,
too
no, it
many.
wasn't even in Josh's live. I thought it was in Dean's live.
Oh,
it was another
that's
live,
right. She
and
said it again in Dean's
I
live. She
no,
said
I
it
did.
again.
I did address her about that. Honestly, I did. I did write her a message and let her know that I'm a mod in Dean's live, and I let her know that that won't fly again. And I get why she was saying that because Manny's a jackass.
But again,
That
it's not okay to say it, even though he's being a jackass. Like, could you imagine if somebody straight up
I
went to
said the N
call
word.
me a
Everybody
wetback and
will
then I
flip.
retaliated with the N word? Like, it's
Yeah.
not
Manny
okay.
already said the N word, so you're
I
making
don't
it a
care. It's not
hypothetical.
okay to
No,
retaliate with
no,
racial
listen,
slurs
it
back.
doesn't
It
matter. So
shows your immaturity.
you should go
But
tell
then
him that
we
it's
gotta
okay
give.
We
to
told
use
Gotta
the
give
him.
this
slurs.
to. Okay.
We
You're not
If
told
gonna
him.
I,
So
tone
now
police
we're
my
addressing you.
reaction.
hold
You're
So
not
on.
gonna tone
we've
police
told
my
him. Don't say
reaction.
y'all go tell
Listen,
him. We have
listen. If
told him
you
several
no, but
times.
tone
So
policing
at
my
this point
reaction is
now
not
we're addressing
effective.
you and we're telling
But
you
listen,
you don't retaliate by saying racial slurs in return.
you
And
can't
that's
really
a
address me
problem.
because I
You're
don't
just
take
as
back
bad as
anything
him
I
if that's what
said.
you're gonna do.
gotta
No,
mute.
I
We gotta
don't
mute.
take
We
back
gotta mute. We
anything
gotta
I
mute. We
said.
gotta
So
mute,
you really
guys.
can't
We gotta
tone
mute.
me.
We gotta mute. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, all the way around, all this racial slurs that have been thrown out there are not okay. Not calling Siberian Huskies, not calling us Mongolians, not calling the N word, not calling the wetback word. None of that shit's gonna fly in my panel, and I don't think I personally am not allowing any of that shit to go. Okay, and that's it. In my panel, it's done. I mean, if you could apologize for what you said, cool. But you can't hold anybody in this live accountable for what Manny said. So, but we're holding you accountable for what you said. If you could just apologize and then we'll move past this because it's not going to happen in my life.
It's so funny to me. Here you guys are trying to sweep it under the rug, but you're trying to call out Kit Kat. It's crazy. I find it ironic how they are trying to press her for an apology, but no one told Mano or Manny to apologize to the black people they offended by using the N-word. Cinco Big Money did the same thing with Josh to turn around and admit he uses the N-word also. The deep disdain y'all feel for black people shows in your actions.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I never used that language in your life, and one thing I will
Yeah, no.
say
Won't be
is,
used
for
anyway.
me, I do think it's a little bit strange to press me to apologize when I never got an apology from the person that initially
Yeah,
called you
but
racial
you're
slurs.
on our panel. You're on my panel.
Yes.
They're not in here. They're not in here. I wouldn't allow those
Oh,
people.
if he was here, I would tell him to apologize to you, but he's not here, and we've addressed him a million
Okay,
times.
Notorious.
Now, what you did?
I was
Hold
talking
on,
about
hold on. And
feelings.
you when
Go
you
ahead,
use
girl.
that word several other times, and when you sit there and you make excuses, like, yeah, she's gonna run, because here's the problem: you can't make an excuse for somebody calling you. If somebody called you a racial slur, you don't then turn around and use a racial slur in return.
Right.
You're just as low as that person, period, point blank. Again, if I turn around and someone would call me a W back, and then I responded with the N word, I would be in the wrong, just like that person would be in the wrong. Two
Right.
wrongs don't make a right, period, point blank. We know this. And if you're going to be immature about it and not apologize for using the words because you were in your feelings, then that's on you. It shows your maturity level.
Because you were in your feelings, right there you can see how BGP is trying to downplay the usage of the N-word as no big deal.
Period, point blank. I'm tired of the excuses of people saying, well, they called me this, so in turn, well, then you ain't better than them.
Yeah, exactly. That's
know
where
that was Kit Kat.
I was also letting her know, since she's in my panel. I mean, none of that shit's gonna fly here, you know.
I didn't know
But
that was Kit Kat.
to literally sit here and apologize for your actions, for your words, would have meant volumes rather than just running.
I had no idea that was Kit Kat. Remember, she was supposed to tag me in videos of indigenous people being racist towards African American people.
Yeah. Thank you for the gifts. Yeah, no, I didn't know that was Kit Kat either. And then when I found out that was Kit Kat, I was like, oh, so that's where she's been hiding. She changed her name.
Yeah, she doesn't back up what she says.
Let me
She
just
said
add.
for sure. Yeah, she said for sure she was going to tag me in these videos. I'm still waiting. That was like 2-3 months ago.
Funny, I've been posting videos of y'all being anti-black for almost a year now. Are we still trying to play crazy? Nativemamaz and Native Vibes, I posted a video clearly showing how both of you were being anti-black by attempting to downplay the struggles of African Americans. What was the response to that? Native Vibes disrespectfully asked if I had anything current, as if black people aren't gunned down by the police, as if black people don't experience redlining, as if black people don't experience the most hate crimes committed against them. That white woman cosplaying as a Native American disrespected black people and gave no apology. Nativemamaz deflected entirely. No apology either.
But let me just add, being black does not negate you from being anti-native. And I'm tired of this thing as far as certain black people claiming that they are not anti-native because they're black, or they don't use white supremacy tactics because they're black. I'm sorry, you tokenized your Mexican indigenous best friend. That is tokenization to have some kind of authority in the conversation. It would not it'd be any different if anybody turned around and said my black friend on this panel. So
Right.
don't it applies
Like
to
my
all
nieces and nephews, yeah. Then everybody was
we
saying
are
I'm
still
talking.
people of color. We are still brown people. We're not white tea people, so it applies to us as well. So when you tokenize, you are tokenizing. You are utilizing white tea supremacy tactics to justify what you are saying, and that's not okay at all, period.
Let's set the record straight here. Are there brown indigenous people? Absolutely. However, there are those of you who are not brown at all. In fact, you're actually white. I'm getting real tired of you problematic ones who are actually white trying to claim indigenous/Native American when it's convenient for you. This racist white woman, JB Good, who has now renamed her account Good to try and hide after I've called her out, who also likes to claim she's Native American, posted this the other day. Now, I've said before how they used that wobble word as a euphemism for the N-word. Well, here she is displaying her racism. If a wobbles comes in all colors, then how would you be able to identify them in this photo you posted, JB Good? She knew this was going to out her, so the white supremacist held alive with this as here background.
Taken away to, oh, all of a sudden, you have the right of citizenship, freedom to come and go, get a job, do as you please.
Too late. To make matters worse, she continuously repeats that black people were allowed to come and go as they pleased and get jobs. Can anyone tell me of a time where black people were allowed to move about without their movements being infringed upon? Last time I checked, the police force in the U.S. was created specifically to round up black people. The amount of folks that claim to be native, who don't know the history of the land that they claim to be native to, is very wild to me.
I'm sorry, I had to get to my back.
Yeah, I don't know why I was dropped. That was a little bit random. So yeah, I would like to be able to just finish my statement uninterrupted. So one, no one was hiding. I did not change my name. This is my backup page. I still have my main account. I'm just suspended until tomorrow. So there was really no hiding. And the second thing is, I'm not going to be bullied into an apology by a bunch of people who are not involved, because he has called me 3 racial slurs and never apologized. So what I said was directed to him, not directed towards all
People in here
Mexicans.
that are affected by it.
But let me finish though, because but other black people were also affected by him calling me mayate and changa, and also
But none of us
the
said
N-word.
it.
No, I didn't say that you guys said it, but what I said is I'm not going to be bullied into an apology when I haven't been apologized to. And
Nobody's
other,
bullying you.
no,
The comments,
because I said
comments
I'm being
that you said
attacked.
were to Mexican
Anyway,
people.
so it was to
They were to
one,
Mexican
it was to
people.
one Mexican
Yeah.
who called me slurs. So you can either choose to get
You
over it, or you
Manny,
can.
you said Mexican
Oh
people are
my
not
God.
indigenous.
I never said Mexican people are not
Yes,
indigenous.
you
Actually,
did.
I never
Yes,
said
you
that.
did.
No, I didn't actually.
Yes, you
Which is,
did.
and that's why I brought
actually
up,
did.
and that's why I brought
And
up
then
my.
you
Oh my
also said it
God.
in Mono's live.
No, I didn't actually. I never said that.
You did.
Okay, so show the recordings of me saying Mexicans are not indigenous. Show me that.
Yeah, you know what? Let me.
Yeah, no, show it. Like, show it.
Mamas,
You're
is it
talking.
okay if
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mono comes
yeah,
in here?
show the recordings of me
Yeah.
saying that Mexicans are not indigenous.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gone. I don't want him in here.
Okay,
Anyway,
I'll
as
get
I said,
the videos from him.
get
But
the
you did.
video. Get the video. So yeah, as I said, I'm not gonna
When
be
it comes to
bullied.
Mono or Manny, I don't want them in here. Anybody that uses those racial slurs, they can kiss ass and they can get the fuck out of here. I don't want them in here. I don't care who's friends with who. You guys get them out, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll
Right,
get.
and so can I finish what I was
But
saying?
you did say Mexican people.
No, I didn't, legal. You
Yeah, you
keep
did.
cutting me off. No, I didn't. So get the recording
did.
or shut up. Just get the recording
Yes,
or shut
you
up.
did.
Actually, you can just
Yes,
get the
you did.
recording.
No, I don't have to shut up.
No, you
I
can get
don't
the
have to shut
recording.
up.
Get
Because you
Okay.
did.
show the
Okay,
proof.
okay.
Let's
Do
see
not
the
be
proof.
do not be telling people to shut up, please.
I said what I
Just be,
said, love.
just be
And
respectful. No,
yeah, I am.
no.
You told me to shut up, dude.
Be fucking respectful, period. You said what you said. I don't give a fuck. Quit telling people to shut up. Act like a fucking adult.
As you can see, these folks believe they have the right to excuse the behavior of themselves and their friends, but hold the black people accountable. Very interesting indeed.
Well,
Period.
it's the thing. She's just making excuses. There's no excuse.
know.
I don't care. We all know, nobody, not a single person agrees with what Manny said or did or does. We've all called him out on his anti-blackness. We've all done videos on him at some point or another. We've all been saying this for a couple of years. It's not our fault that people don't want to listen to us when we tell them this. So at the end of the day, though, you saying W back does not justify. I don't care. You don't stoop as low as him.
Exactly.
When you do that, just because you're saying it to one Mexican, you're saying it to everybody. Just like when somebody calls one black person the N-word, they're saying it to all black people. Let's not play dumb. You're smarter than that. I've seen how you talk. I've seen how you educate. You're way smarter than that. Those semantics are not going to work with somebody like me.
Eagle Eye Descendant, you say you're in here with racist people. Yeah, who's the one being racist? We're trying to call out the racism and we're blocking people that do racism.
I'm done with this
I
one.
ask you.
Like it's crazy. You're gonna make the excuses that you would not tolerate from a white person or from a native person making those same kind of excuses. You would not tolerate it, yet you're gonna do it to save face for yourself instead of just saying, "I apologize. Those weren't words I should have used in retaliation." You could have just done that.
I know, just a
Thanks
simple.
to me, because I know how smart you are, and I know you're not going to sit here and try to play this game as if
I'm
you're pulling the
sorry.
same shit that white people pull on all people of color when they do that shit. Like, please not. Let's not try to make us look like we're stupid and as if we have some kind of white privilege when we don't.
The fact that legal was on Manny's panel a few days ago.
There's
No.
proximity to whiteness due to certain people's skin tones, but that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about blatant racism and blatant racist words.
Okay, so I wanted to let everyone have their opportunity to finish, but once again, as I said, the language I used was in direct response to a particular person being racist. Actually, if we want to be really technical, I never said WB, I said seca tu espalda. Okay, that's what I actually said, which is not WB, it means dry your back. I was being
It's
cheek and tongue. No,
there,
let
so
me
don't
finish.
play.
I'm not playing, girl. I'm literally saying that it was
Oh, gee, that's so
disrespectful.
racist.
Same
Oh
thing.
That's
my
so
gosh.
It
racist.
literally means the
Anyway,
same thing. Like, come
anyway,
on.
well, let me finish speaking. As I
Yeah,
said,
you're sitting here making excuses. Like, just
I'm not
stop with the
making any
excuses for
excuses.
real.
Literally, but here's what I was
You know
saying.
what? My
I feel
11-year-old just said that means the same thing. That means the same thing. So don't dance around what you said. You said what you said, and they're calling you out on it. Be
and
accountable.
I agree with
We're
you.
not
I
being
said what I
accountable,
said.
though. That's why everyone's
No,
fired
but
up.
listen, it's because
I've listened to everything you've had to say, and I've read what you had to say, and you're dancing around it. You don't
I'm
call
really
people.
not.
You don't say that to somebody. That's sick.
So
Knock
can
it
I
off.
finish speaking, or
Do
am I gonna
better.
keep being cut off?
Do
And
better.
that's the issue. I think you guys are trying to be like the morality police, but I never said I.
Okay, I'm done. Let's put it this way. I'm done. Look it. The only thing we're saying is what you said was it may not have been a blanket statement, but it did hurt other people. So for you to up here and make it sound like, oh, it's okay, I only refer to that person. No, 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 no. You don't say it, period. Just like them saying the N-word. We don't tolerate it. We won't allow it. But you're expecting us to allow you to like say, oh yeah, that was for him, but that wasn't meant for you guys. No, no. A simple apology will freaking end all this. That's all. But you're saying you're being bullied into it. If you don't have the fucking heart or the fucking class to sit here and say, my apologies, it wasn't meant for you guys, I'm sorry I said it, then get the fuck off my panel. There. Sorry, everybody can hear me. I was just irritated.
I just cannot believe the audacity. Seriously.
Yeah, and I can't believe that I used to defend her because I thought she was learning. I really felt that she was more educated because I had heard her speak before and I had stuck up for her in other indigenous panels, especially Mexican indigenous panels. And then when I heard what she said, it just like broke my heart. My jaw dropped to the floor and I just couldn't believe it. That's the most despicable thing.
Yeah, well, I did respond to her and I did tell her that I wouldn't tolerate it if she's in his space again and that comes out. It's being because I didn't catch it the first time until it was brought to my attention, and then I obviously went at her. I mean, in her DMs. But I'm just letting you guys know I don't want any of that rhetoric here. I'm sorry. I thought that was like she apologized or something about that because when I brought her in, nobody said anything. So I just assumed that she had apologized to everybody or made a.
She has the ability to just let it roll off her tongue. Like
Yeah, that's
I
just
can't
fucking
even say the N word myself without feeling like discomfort. I don't say it. Period. It is not my vocabulary, and the fact that it is a part of her vocabulary, that says a whole lot.
The fact that she tried to sit there and say that she didn't say W back, but she said dry your back as if it doesn't mean the same thing.
Yeah, no, I
It
see.
means the same
Yeah,
thing.
I was.
Why would you be drying somebody's back? Because it's wet? So
Yeah,
that's really stupid.
yeah, no, but I was actually sent the picture of it, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so no.
That shit really
She's
blew
just
me.
trying to insult our intelligence on that, and that's the thing. It's not going to work here, especially with me here. It's definitely not going to work. You're not going to play those little fucking deflective tactics. You're not going to sit there and be able to use your words in a way where you think people are going to get confused and shit. That shit ain't going to work with me. And I know
Yeah.
you're more intelligent than that to sit there and try to play the semantics of you weren't tokenizing. I got Mexican friends, and that's tokenizing. You know that for a fact.
And yeah,
You can't do it because you're black. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
no.
I would never let nobody sit there and disrespect my aunt
I was
either. Like, you real life disrespecting my aunt for what? Telling her to shut up for what? She's trying to tell you something. And you
yeah.
sitting up here talking about, oh, shut up and get over it. How you want us to get over it?
Oh, I know.
How you expect us to get over that shit? Like, chill out. You
My
crashed out. You a crashed out dummy. Chill out.
Mama
Uh,
Hosky just messaged me. He goes, "You're racist."
shut the fuck up.
He's calling me a hypocrite.
Oh my god, they always say we're.
He just messaged me, "You're racist. You know it, you hypocrite."
I wish
Oh
a
my.
bitch would come up here and try to disrespect my aunt. You better pipe the fuck down before you get crashed out, stupid.
I think he needs to quit hanging out with the pretendians.
She probably wasn't there to be friends with them now.
At the end of the day, though, like honestly, like we've told Manny a million fucking times. So, like we've told him we can't control him, but we've told him we don't allow it in our spaces. We never have. So
Yeah.
Mono?
sit here and make excuses for using the word because of what he said. You're just acting just like Manny at that point. You're no better than Manny at all. Period. You're just not. You're no better than Mono. You're no better than any of the people that do it. So you're just as bad as them, and there's no excuse for it. Period. It's not tolerated by us in any form, no matter who it is. Deal with that. Like there's this misconception that like indigenous people, like we don't experience racism or some shit. Like we don't deal with the bigotry. Like we don't deal with the bullshit because we do. Like we don't get white privilege. I don't know why people think that white privilege and lighter skin privilege is the same thing because it's not. So let's not sit here and pretend that you guys cannot be bigots towards us just like we can be bigots towards you. And that's the shit that needs to stop. And there's no tolerance for it, and there's no excuses for it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the same with even with Mono when he says I don't allow that either. I totally turn my back on that shit. So I mean, people that want to say that we're racist, we don't allow that shit in here. But yeah, on their panels, they sit there and call our people Siberians. They call us Mongolians. They say all this bullshit, and not one person sitting there correcting their asses.
Oh, they're flashing that fake money thinking she like rich or some shit. Talking about she broke now.
Back to the projects.
Oh, damn it. Be for real, you want to come up? You want to get embarrassed again?
Don't do it, sis. Don't do it.
How's that racist? How's that racist? You act like black people are the only ones that go look in the projects. The fuck you talking about?
No, but Ray needs to stop.
That wasn't
Ray
even
don't
a
even have a
discussion.
fucking people. Ray don't even have a people,
That
and she's
wasn't
talking
even
about
a
other people.
discussion.
She does not have a people.
Lorena was
Okay? Ray does not have a people, and she's over here trying to invalidate people that are established. They are recognized by New Mexico. And that lion woman, that black lady, and that lion woman, that black lady, okay, that black lady, because she's black, that black lady of African descent, La Chapa, is not Danae. She's a fucking fraud. All right, she's not who she says she is. She's a liar.
If someone don't like black people, then all of a sudden they're anti-black.
No, there's so much.
What?
There's so much.
It's like if
What'd
someone
you
don't
say?
like black people, then all of a sudden they're anti-black.
Am I wrong?
People like Glenn, back them up. Like he flip flops like hell. Dude, you're a native.
So can we get that apology or nah? Of course not, because being anti-black is so normalized that no one sees anything wrong with it. This is why black people do not have allies. We have ops.
Yeah. I mean, if it's going to stop, I don't know. I won't allow it in here either. I mean, pretending is actually
What? You
I
cut
think
out.
I think we've also haven't we corrected ourselves in certain words. We don't use wabo. We don't use.
again, I don't know. I'm a half and half.
I think
Yeah,
we're trying
I'm half
to.
and half on that. Sometimes it's like
Wabo is not a bad.
it got racial.
It's not a
I
racist
think
word.
it got
Black.
racial though. I mean, it's literally just want to be Aboriginal.
Yeah,
That's
I
what it
was
means.
there when the person who created it on Facebook. I used to back in the '90s. We used to kind of talk about because it began a long time ago. But what I'm saying is, I think us like now, even on this panel, we've corrected ourselves the way we're addressing the issue to try to be more respectful. So we watch what we say, and I don't think pretending is not a word that we are trying to use as a racial slur.
That's
It's just
exactly.
it's more of a what we're saying is you're politically incorrect and you're not portraying yourself. You're
Yes.
Wabo isn't
hijacking
even
it.
politically incorrect. It's wannabe Aboriginal. It's a shortened term for that.
But I
No,
mean,
I agree with what it means.
So,
Though
so
I'm saying is people took it the wrong way, so we corrected ourselves
the
even
reason,
but
then, right?
the reason
We
why
should be
I don't use it,
correcting them.
ask that question. Does it pertain to here though?
but
Because there's no Aboriginals here in the United States. We're Aboriginals are Australians. Am I correct?
Well,
Why
the
do I?
terminology Aboriginal is a person that it, there's Aborigine, which is from Australia. Aboriginal can be used in the United States.
Oh, it
Usually,
can.
yeah. I mean, in the
Aboriginal,
Americas.
actually, Aboriginal was
That
used
was like,
in Canada, and it was when we, again, one of those reclassification names I was talking about. Because we used to have Aboriginal
Not
days,
that.
and they reclassified that word for Canadian natives.
so the
Yes, that's
reason
correct.
the reason why I don't use the word wobble is because there were certain people on this app that started calling themselves wobble hunters, and because that term was being specifically used towards black people, it kind of sounded like they were hunting down black people, which is why I don't specifically use that word and why it was so problematic at one point. That's more of the history of it. But I will agree that no matter what kind of label you put on them, whether you call them pseudos, pretendians, whatever you call them, they're going to always claim that it's going to be racist because it's specifically geared toward them. And I don't think anybody's going to get away from that. But that's the only reason why I specifically don't use the term wobble. It's because of that particular history. So it did come off as extremely anti-black, anti-racist towards anybody who was black because they were saying it to people who are Afro-Indigenous and people who are Pan-Africans. And so, and like I said, there was a group of people that ruined that in that sense because they started calling themselves wobble hunters. So
Right.
I think a lot of people don't know that part of the history of that word and what happened with that word as well online. So that's the reason why I've never used it.
Dun 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 dun.
And then Nativemamaz allows Mateo on her panel, but they don't support it.
But you're right though, native vibes. You're right though. The word Aboriginal, it means
oh
from the
no.
beginning or original inhabitants. So it does pertain to the Americas as well.
Let me talk about the
Who
wobble
the
word,
hell
please.
let Sub Commandante up in the panel?
I,
Who?
Dun dun dun.
Who?
he
Who?
wants to chime in on the wobble word, so we're gonna let him chime in on the wobble word. Go ahead.
So I've always equated the wobble word to the Yahtzee word, right? Now, back the word Yahtzee that starts with an N, not a Y. It wasn't thought up by Mustache Man and his people. It was thought up by his opposition. Actually, give me five. I gotta do something real quick.
Hey, Mateo, I got a question for you. Did the mustache man ever like Mexicans? Cause I heard I seen it on I've
I
heard it.
mean, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that Mexico allied with the Allied forces against Yahtzee Germany, but no, he didn't like anybody but his master race, honestly.
Because I went to Google and I searched it up. I was like, did the mustache man ever like Mexicans? And they said and it said yeah. In a way, I was like,
No,
what?
he did not.
Well, I've always equated it to the word, the Yahtzee word, because it was a word that was coined by the opposition to identify and like identify and call out the party, right? And the Yahtzees, when they first heard that word, their first reaction was to say that this is a anti-Bavarian or anti-German slur that the Western European countries like England and France were using against them to be racist, and that they were conspiring with, the Jewish cabal that was trying to destroy Germany and the Aryan race and all their whole weird like cult, ethnocentric cult that they had. There's no difference between that and Wabos. And the reason why they wanted to attack that word and try to use this insincere, like cynical criticism of the word by trying to act like it's a racist slur is because they don't want to give their opposition the vocabulary that allows them to identify them for what they are and who they are and what they believe in a simple, easily digestible single word: Nazi or Wabo. And it's the same reason why the Wabos do it. They don't want to be easily identified for not just they try to make it about race, but it's not about race. It's about their ideology. Their ideology is a racialized one, but it's specifically the ideology that they hold, not the fact that they're part of the so-called black race, because there's lots of people who are part of that race who don't hold that ideology, and nobody calls them Wabos unless fucking someone makes a mistake and thinks they're a Wabo. But the reason why that mistake is made is because the waters are purposely being muddied by the Wabos, and that's why they try to go into Pan-African spaces and try to mix in and convert people to their way of thinking, or they go to like a Moorish or whatever type of ethnocentric lie that you'll see on TikTok, and they try to mix sense to blur the lines so there isn't a clear distinction, because they don't want to be singled out and they don't want to be identified.
Well, just like the word pretending, they're trying to make that as a racist word now.
That's why I'm saying, like,
To me, it was already.
We also got to understand, like, there are going to be other better words to use to call them out or whatever. I'm just saying the implications that TikTok started using when they started using Wabo hunters, and with the history of what's happened here, we got to also understand that a lot of black people were being called Wabo and being attacked by quote unquote Wabo hunters, and they were using it in that way. So it did become very muddy and blurry because of that. So we gotta also take accountability in the people that actually started calling themselves Wabo hunters, at a word that was specifically aimed towards a certain group of black people. So that also has to be.
So Nazi hunters.
I don't really care, because they don't hold power here.
It was technically
distractors who are pushing. They are pushing white supremacy rhetoric, yes, but they are nowhere near the same thing as Yahtzee. So let's stop making comparisons.
They are. Yes, the hell they are. That's nonsense. I could give you a one-to-one. I could give you a one-to-one comparison.
What power do they hold, and what G-side are they committing like the Yahtzees did? They're not. So stop with the bullshit.
But aren't they in a sense, though? Aren't they in a sense by saying they're the real American Indians?
White supremacy rhetoric. But you know how many POC across the board, including our own people, push white supremacy rhetoric? That doesn't make us Yahtzees. That makes us people who are colonized who need to decolonize. That makes us people who got to understand where we are pushing rhetoric, that we need to stop pushing rhetoric, because
this is infantilizing of black people and trying to make it seem like they're beyond any sort of morally repugnant behaviors.
There are nobody talking to you right now.
Actually, I was brought up.
Stop interrupting. So, what I'm saying is that we all got to take accountability for the shit that we got to decolonize for. And we also got to make sure that we don't promote the shit. We got to find better ways of having communication so that we are not harming our communities or other marginalized communities. That should be the goal. Instead of sitting here and playing these stupid games of what can we call each other and this and this and this, it all adds to the bullshit distraction that supposedly people want to dismantle and cause get rid of a lot of the division. So if we're gonna sit here and let's keep it real, you're gonna get dropped, bro.
Dude, Native
If you
Mamas, will
don't
you tell
know
your
how to have
moderators to stop
control.
disrespecting me and let me and have me like, show me some respect because I
Shut up. You sit there and you literally mute everybody on your live and never let nobody talk, and then you think you can come up here and just like start
Exactly.
cutting people off. So no,
We
you
didn't
don't get to
say
come up
it.
here.
Damn it, Mateo. You should be nice on your panels. What the
Be
fuck?
respectful, holy fuck. People talking. Let them talk.
So
I
you,
just feel like
and
that
that's
on
the
your
thing he
panels.
does. He wants to overtalk everybody. And then act like he's all superior, and then in his live shut people up and drop them. So boom, bro, either shut up or and wait till your turn, or not, or you can be gone.